The sustainability agenda has nothing to do with the climate changing, which is a hoax, because Earth is covered 70% with water in the ocean, where the carbon cycle is being absorbed, fixing the planet. How Earth came into existence. Thanks to radiometric dating, we now know that the Earth is around 4.5 billion years old. Water was always exist. Life began in around 4 billion years ago in the form of microbes, photosynthesis in around 3 billion years ago, then animal life around 760 million years, then dinosaurs in around 230 million years, and mankind in around 200,000 years. This Genesis story here need to be documented with all of its natural phenomena and its variety of its life forms, because it's the ideology of the 21st century. Earth constants. Here's a table to what I think must be mentioned and with comparison to other planets like Venus, Mars and maybe the Moon. Earth gravity is around 9.8 meter per square seconds. Earth mass is 5.8 trillion kilogram. Earth radius is 6,371 km, with a circumference of around 40,000 km. The atmospheric composition we all know, the only planet having oxygen. The rotational speed around 1000 miles per hour. Length of the day 23 hours and 56 minutes. Orbital speed 365.25 days. Strength of the magnetic field 30 to 60 microtesla. The obliquity or the tilt is around 23.4 degrees. Earth's surface area is 70% covered with water. Distance to the Moon 384,400 km. Distance to the Sun, what is called the astronomical unit, around 150 million km. Distance to nearby planets, first to Mars is 78 million km and to Venus is 41 million km. Distance to the closest solar system is around 5 billion km. And that was almost everything about our planet Earth. Constants. The energy file. There was a book, open source, you can have it and read it online. You can find the link in the description. It's called The Sustainability Energy Without the Hot Air by David McKay. This book, the writer here, explained in details all forms of energy, the conventional sources like fossil fuel and natural gas, etc., and the renewable energy sources like solar and wind energy, etc. Doing his calculations, he found that there's some kind of inefficiency in the renewables, and his solution was to back up the inefficiency with nuclear reactors. Anyways, what was revolutionary in his book wasn't all of the technical elements in his calculations, which I think were great, but something else about cars I will discuss later. In the world today, there's more than 1 billion cars shared to 8 billion people. Half of those cars are in the United States and China, and the second half are to the rest of the world. The automobile industry is always evolving over time. We have today the steering wheel, electric windows, air conditioning, fumed windows, CD player, xenon lamps, anti-lock braking, airbags, automatic gear drive, remote control keys, back sensors, and the fuel resource is changing too. We had the gasoline and the diesel, and today the electric cars. And we'll have the automatic braking system, which I think is the optimum we might reach. So there's no need for autonomous cars or driverless cars, because otherwise it will be only domination and exploitation. I will discuss that later. The argument is here. First, the recharging cables versus the exchangeable battery. Here we see the page number 195 in the book I discussed earlier. What was revolutionary in his book was this highlight about exchangeable batteries, where you can replace it anytime you want in any station, without worrying about the cable and without waiting for your car to be recharged, wasting your time. And of course, the process might be robotized too in the future, where robots take your low battery and replace it with already charged battery within seconds, not hours. The second argument was about the paradox of programmed cars by AI versus remotely controlled cars. And here is an ethical problem in both situations. Not because the car might make mistakes, which will happen for certainty, but because the car might be hacked and or stolen, which is a malicious question too. Even if they said that the car is monitored remotely, because if it is monitored remotely, then the car you are buying from the company is not yours anymore, but still owned by the company. Think about this. All airlines are still with pilots, although there is no traffic in airlines compared to the complex traffic of automobiles. AI is not about being lucky, while they are telling you to trust blindly. And think about all those drones, which are pilotless military drones, bombing third world countries, and are still remotely controlled, not programmed by AI. Finally, is the idea of automating the aeronautic industry. The question here is an economical question too. The stock market has always been the same. Starting with gold, here you can see the gold standard bill, but abolished in 1971 to be replaced by the petrodollar, then war and weapons all over the world, and money as debt, where the rich is always getting richer and the poor is always getting poorer, in the game of money, where no justice and no fair play, and where the world is like a casino than a chess club. And after dividing this debt economy by zero crypto, they might even inflate the economy more and more.